This is a little awkward, but I'm going to give it a try. Had a really good friend pass away today. This morning, completely unexpected. Just died in their sleep. Someone who was just absolutely one of a kind. There's no one else like him. And the world is now, the world's a different place. I've spent the whole morning with my partner, who this was her really good friend, and then I met them in college even before I met her. So kind of a mutual friendship. I spent the day with her, and then his girlfriend and all of the people that came around to try and make sense of this completely nonsensible thing. And I guess I process by talking. And so I'm walking to go get my car. But I just wanted to think through some things. And the first is, as cliche as it is, this type of thing is just such a shocking reminder of how, as much as we expect our lives to go on and we expect our story to continue, this future that we're always working towards, and the goals that we have for ourselves, that our lives are really hanging in a balance that is so delicate, and there's no guarantees. And our friend, I mean, he had so many more amazing years ahead of him. He had everything to live for. He was the most positive, good-natured, always helping people person you could possibly imagine. And we were all commenting that he would be so mad about this. That this is just, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense. It isn't tied to any reason that's easy to say, oh, it was this. He just recently beat cancer for the second time and was doing great. And then he just passed away in his sleep. And yeah, I have to remind myself in these moments that the story of life is, as much as we want to project that forward and just think that we've got, 50, 60 more years ahead of us to do all the living that we want to do. In reality, we're all moving towards our own end, and you never know when it's going to happen. And so what? People have these moments all the time where they maybe they do beat cancer, and then they decide, I'm going to make some changes. I think this even happened to him. Live to the fullest. And even if you do that, there's no guarantee. There's no extra prize, I guess, for living any different way than you are. I personally try to be very healthy. I do all of these things probably with this idea that that's going to help me, live a longer story. But there's no assurance, there's no guarantee, and this just shows how easy it can all slip away, just without reason, without cause, or at least any, large cause. So the other thing that I've been thinking about is how, in general, I think a lot of us just go through our lives and maybe we're happy, sad, depressed, enthusiastic, all of these things, but it's all our little personal story. And I think, at least it's my perception, that we often look at all the things that we don't have, and we want to be living a different life. We want to have a better experience. We want more quality time with the people we love. We're always kind of looking at the negative, I guess, the things that are missing. And it just strikes me that this person who I'm talking about was so joy-bringing to so many people. I spent the whole morning with a cast of characters from different social groups, all coming together to shake our heads and cry and just try and make sense of this. And I guess what I'm saying is we think about all the things that we don't have, and then we lose a person who we do have, and you realize, holy cow, that one person was connected to all of these people and all of these people's lives. And we all took for granted that this individual was in our world and always would be. And it's not until he's gone that we recognize what a gift that was to have him in the world. And in a way, I think we're all that to different people. Any one person is connected through all of these webs of relationships. And so to pluck one person out of that whole matrix, that whole web, is to really demonstrate loss to a huge group of people. Even the people that probably didn't know him as well, all the students that he taught, or this whole town that's sort of a backdrop to all of these stories. You pluck one person out of it and you really see the connection and effect that a single person can have. And it makes me think about, he's one person, and I am so fortunate, so gifted to have the people in my life that I do. He's just one of them. And so as I take for granted all of these things and complain about, wanting to travel more or, all these things that I don't have, look at all the things that I do have. And now I'm not trying to make this a selfish thing, but just reflecting, now that person in my world is gone, and I feel that absence. And it does make me think about the presence of the other people in my life that I would be devastated to lose. And another thing that we were talking about kind of as a group, as we all sat on the floor, intermittently crying and laughing and hugging and consoling one another, is this, it's a word from Kurt Vonnegut, who's a novel writer. And it's this concept of a karass, which is a group of people that are connected spiritually or by invisible threads. They are all on earth together to do something or to have some experience together. And the people that are in your karass, you might not even meet them. You might never know that they're in your karass. You might not even like them. But the idea is that there's groups of people that all kind of move together. And I think for this person in particular, he had a very large karass. He influenced so many people and moved so many people. His girlfriend was going through his phone, looking something up, and found his last couple web browser searches, and one of them was, why do starlings move together? When you see a cloud of little black birds that are all moving as if they're a school of fish, in a way that's really a great image for someone like this, who just had that effect on all these different social groups, just moved everybody, always in positive, fun-seeking ways. And I don't know, I'm trying to process all of these things, and I think the thing that keeps coming back to me, kind of this bigger thought, is sort of what I started with, is just recognizing how short our time is, how it really can end with a whimper instead of a bang. And I'm just trying to process that. Like, what does it mean? Does it mean to make changes and grab life by the horns? Does it just mean to appreciate the people around us more? Does it mean anything? Does life mean anything? I mean, I'm thinking yesterday, our friend was just going through a routine day, nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. I think that we all kind of imagine that our last day on earth, that things are going to glow a little bit, or you're going to have some sort of epiphany, or, the payoff that you've been working for your whole life to have some revelation or experience. And it might not be that way. And that has to be okay somehow too. And, depending on your belief, your underlying metaphysics, you might see everything as just chaos and randomness, or you might see everything as just a complex organic system, or you might see it as the divine creation of a benevolent creator. However you view it, the present reality is what it is. And I think that it's a comforting thought to think that all of this, has a reason or an intention behind it. And I can definitely see how, with our friend passing away, it's going to move, as he's always moved. It's going to move these big groups of people. And we're all going to come together, we're all going to cry, we're all going to mourn, we're all going to have this shared experience. And everything else that happens in life is going to go on from this point. And so, in a way, you can call it God's plan, or you can... Sorry, I'm crossing this very busy street. It's a little loud. You can see it as God's plan. You can see it as an inevitability, this life that we lead. And in a way, I think that regardless of how you personify it or think about it, that I come back to these sort of thumbs to suck, like pacifier, just to make it all feel okay. And one of my philosophies is that when you really get into those moments of complete presentness and, call it whatever you want, satori, enlightenment, what have you, you see that everything is just exactly as it is, and it must be this way for there to be anything at all. And it's easy to say, gosh, if I had only, reached out or done something different yesterday, this could have been avoided, the timeline could have changed. And that's a game that can just play on endlessly. But in some way that has to be okay, because the alternative is to just deny life. And if you deny one piece of life, you've then denied everything, including yourself, including, I don't know. But it has to somehow be okay. And it has to make sense, because you are alive right now, drawing breath, having the thoughts that you're having the people that you appreciate and the things that you're grateful for. All of that rests on a mountain of everything that came before it. Every single thing. That idea of the butterfly effect, that the butterfly flapping its wings in Asia causes the winds in North America or whatever, in a way that is deeply, profoundly true. And again, for you to have even one moment of contentment or enjoyment or gratitude or even pain, for you to have anything required all of the people that came before us to have done exactly what they did in exactly the way they did it, and to have died at exactly the moments that they did. It all is connected perfectly for us to be here now. And that doesn't make, grieving and coping with a loss like this any less painful. But I have to keep coming back to that reality that, our friend came and he touched so many lives constantly. That's what you see when someone is removed. You see all the places that they touched, all the places that are unexpectedly connected. And we're all doing that all the time. And it's foolish to think that we could have asked for any more. And it was an absolute gift for every second that we shared together, every day that he was in the world. And yeah, I don't know. I think that there are a lot of people that are going through loss of one form or another, whether it's the death of someone, or people splitting up, leaving each other, or businesses failing, or illusions being shattered, or just the loss of a world we thought we were in but actually weren't. These kind of cultural delusions that we all share. And then we have to completely reorient ourselves when everything changes. And so I guess I'm just putting it out there that we're all in this together. We're all right where we belong. We're all doing exactly the thing that there is to be done. And I can sound all put together and like I know what the hell's going on right now. And then I know as soon as I turn this off, I'm going to go back into this whole up and down experience. And there's a lot more tears and things ahead. When I go pick up my kids here in a little bit, they were also really, really close with this individual. So we're gonna do this all again with the kids too. So anyway, that's that. I'm gonna get back to it. Love you.